Namaskar, good evening viewers. You're watching the news on Sansad TV. I'm Rajiv Kumar. The next half an hour carries news from national and international perspective. Let us begin with the headlines tonight. Budget session of Parliament from 31st January to 6th April. President Murmu to address the joint sitting on the first day. 27 meetings to be held in the session. PM holds meeting with economists at Niti Aayog. Prime Minister flags off world's longest river cruise. Ganga Vilas calls it an affordable means of water transport. Also launches projects worth 1,000 crore rupees. Union Home Minister takes stock of the security situation in Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu security grid to be strengthened on all fronts within 3 months. NIA to probe twin terror attacks in Rajouri. Former Union Minister and veteran socialist leader Sharad Yadav is no more. A wave of mourning grips the political fraternity. President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Union Ministers and political leaders pay tributes. Lohri celebrations across the country. President, Vice President and Prime Minister extend greetings on Lohri, Makar Sankranti, Bihu and Pongal. Now some other important stories in our flash news segment. Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia urges officials to prepare roadmap towards elimination of lymphatic filariasis by 2027, 3 years ahead of global target for elimination. Addressing a gathering at Agartala, INB Minister Anurag Thakur asks India's youth to be proud of country's rich culture and traditions. Union Minister Hardeep Puri asserts India is the front-runner in mitigating climate change globally, says country progressing fast on energy transition agenda. Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jayashankar to visit Sri Lankan capital Colombo for 2 days from January 19th. Indian Railways to run 2 hockey special trains from Saturday in view of the Hockey Men's World Cup in Odisha. Trains will run between Bhubaneswar to Rourkela and Puri to Rourkela. Presidency of G20, a major opportunity for India to work with developed and emerging countries to accelerate development, says G20 Sherpa Amitabh Kant. 174 new cases of COVID-19 reported in the country during the last 24 hours. India's active caseload stands at 2,257. Vidisha in Madhya Pradesh becomes the first ever district in India for on-ground deployment of innovative 5G users, cases offered by startups. Congressional Republicans argue the discovery of classified files at one of US President Joe Biden's residences is a national security risk. Demand to see visitor logs for his homes. Czechs go to the polls over the next 2 days to elect a successor to President Miloš Zeman, whose second term ends in March. On to our lead story. The budget session of Parliament will begin from 31st of January. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is likely to present the Union budget on 1st of February. The budget session will begin with President Draupadi Murmu's address to the joint sitting of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The economic survey will also be tabled in both houses on the first day of the session. The session will have 27 sittings and will continue till 6th April with a month-long recess. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi said the first part of the budget session will conclude on February 14th. Parliament will reconvene on March 12 for the second part of the budget session. Prime Minister Narendra Modi met several prominent economists at Niti Aayog today. The deliberations were based on the theme India's growth and resilience amidst global headwinds. Prime Minister noted that while there were risks, the emerging global environment offers new and diverse opportunities in areas such as digitization, energy, healthcare and agriculture. He said that public and private sector need to leverage synergies and think out of the box. Prime Minister applauded the success of India digital story and the rapid adoption of fintech across the country. He underscored Nari Shakti as a key driver of India's growth and urged to continue making efforts to further enable and boost women's participation in the workforce. Several suggestions were made by economists during the meeting for boosting economic growth. They also suggested that new growth impulses would need to build upon this foundation through holistic development across all sectors. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday flagged off MV Ganga Vilas, the world's longest river cruise in Uttar Pradesh's Varanasi, through video conferencing. The total cost for the 51-day journey will be around 20 lakh rupees for each passenger, the organizers of the cruise have said.
World's longest cruise, MV Ganga Vilas, set sail for its first journey from Varanasi city as Prime Minister Narendra Modi flagged it off virtually on Friday.
डिब्रूगढ़ के बीच दुनिया की सबसे लंबी नदी जल यात्रा गंगा विलास क्रूज का शुभारंभ हुआ है। इससे पूर्वी भारत के अनेक पर्यटक स्थल वर्ल्ड टूरिज्म मैप में और प्रमुखता से आने वाले हैं।
MV Ganga Vilas will cover 3,200 kilometers encompassing 27 river systems over a span of 51 days. The cruise went ahead with its maiden voyage with 32 tourists hailing from Switzerland. With 18 suites spanned across 3 decks, MV Ganga Vilas is loaded with luxury facilities including a decorated dining space. The longest river cruise will touch major cities and tourist spots of the country including Patna, Kolkata, Bodh Gaya and Sundarbans, and will even pass through neighbouring Bangladesh's Dhaka city. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced that India will establish a Global South Centre of Excellence to undertake research on development solutions for developing countries. Addressing the concluding session of the Voice of Global South Virtual Summit, Prime Minister called for a human-centric globalization to address their concerns. He also stressed on need for fundamental reforms of international organizations, including the UN Security Council.
Developing countries desire a globalization that does not create climate crisis or debt crisis. We want a globalization that does not lead to unequal distribution of vaccines or over-concentrated global supply chains. We want a globalization that brings prosperity and well-being to humanity as a whole.
Amid tight security arrangements, Union Home Minister Amit Shah arrived in Jammu on a day-long visit to the Jammu region. During the visit, the Home Minister reviewed security situation of Jammu and Kashmir at a high-level meeting in Raj Bhavan. Amit Shah said a decision has been taken to enhance the security grid in Jammu within 3 months. He also informed that the Rajouri killing case was handed over to NIA for a thorough probe. The meeting was attended by Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha, Chief Secretary A.K. Mehta, Northern Army Commander Lieutenant General Upendra Dwivedi, Director General of Police Dilbag Singh and senior officers of different forces and intelligence agencies. Shah's visit comes just days after twin terrorist attacks in which 7 minority community persons were killed and 14 others injured in Dhangri hamlet. Authorities in Joshimath began demolition work as they took out dismantled window panes and belongings out of unsafe buildings on Friday. Hundreds of structures in the town have developed cracks following an apparent sinking of land.
2 hotels are being dismantled in Joshimath under the watch of experts and authorities, a day after protesters halted the operation demanding better compensation. Residents and experts have also protested power plant construction in the area, which they partly blame for the land sinking.
पैरेलली जितना काम कर सकते हैं और दोनों बिल्डिंग में कर सकते हैं वो सब आपको दिख रहा है कि अंदर से एक टीम जो है सारे सामान निकाल रहा है, एक टीम ग्लास पैनल्स निकाल रहा है, एक टीम ऊपर के जो टीन सेट्स हैं वहां से चादर उतार रहे हैं.
Joshimath residents were moved to relief camps for temporary shelters where children found it difficult to carry on their studies after schools were shut down in the sinking hill town.
लास्ट में आप जब देखेंगे कि बिल्डिंग के सिर्फ आपको कॉलम्स जो पिलर्स रह जाएंगे और कॉलम्स को अटैच करने के लिए जो बीम्स रह जाएंगे और हर फ्लोर का स्लैब जो छत है वो रह जाएगा, बाकी खाका सब खाली हो जाएगा. उसके बाद हम स्ट्रक्चर को फिर ऊपर से नीचे तक उसको डिसमेंटलिंग करेंगे.
An initial relief package of 1,50,000 rupees would be given to the affected families who have to relocate after the demolition of their homes. According to a top district official, larger relief package was also being prepared. More demolitions will follow in Joshimath, where 700 houses and buildings developed cracks, prompting authorities to rush around 400 people to safer locations. Initial complaints about the cracks came about 14 months ago, and a committee was formed to investigate. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
Former Union Minister, veteran politician and former JDU chief Sharad Yadav passed away last night at a private hospital in Gurugram. He was 75. President, Vice President, Prime Minister and leaders cutting across political party lines have expressed grief at his demise. Union Home Minister Amit Shah visited his Delhi residence and paid tribute to him. He called his death as irreparable loss to the nation and politics. BJP chief JP Nadda also paid condolences. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi also visited Sharad Yadav's residence to pay his last respects. Chief ministers of several states, including Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Telangana, condoled his death. Bihar government also declared state mourning on Friday as a mark of respect to the veteran socialist leader. His last rites will be conducted on Saturday at his native village in Madhya Pradesh's Narmadpura district. Sharad Yadav, one of the
संसद सदस्य के रूप में, पार्टी के नेता के रूप में, मंत्री के रूप में, संसद में भी वो हमेशा अति पिछड़े गरीब व्यक्तियों की आवाज़ संसद में बनते थे. उनका नहीं रहना हम सब के लिए बहुत बड़ी क्षति है.
Sharad Yadav, one of the prominent socialist leaders, came into limelight in the 1970s by opening a front against the Congress. He continued to play an important role in deciding the course of national politics for decades. Sharad Yadav has been a union minister in governments led by former Prime Minister like VP Singh and Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He had been a 7-term Lok Sabha MP and a 3-term Rajya Sabha MP. He was not very active in politics in recent years due to his ill health. After a brief respite from the severe cold wave, temperatures across northwest India are set to plummet once again. According to the India Meteorological Department, the cold wave will return to Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Rajasthan and Delhi from Sunday. The Delhi remained in the grip of dense fog this morning, with visibility dropping to 50 meters, affecting rail and road traffic. The minimum temperature was recorded at 9.8 degrees Celsius, 2 notches above normal. The IMD has forecast partly cloudy skies for Saturday with moderate fog in the morning. In Himachal Pradesh, light snowfall followed by rain and sleet brought cheers to tourists in Shimla. However, it forced the closure of vehicular traffic on over 200 roads in the upper reaches. The snowfall cut off the remote Dodra Kwar subdivision in Shimla from the rest of the state. Isolated parts of Shimla, Kangra, Kullu, Chamba and Lahore and Spiti districts witness light snowfall. The tourism sector in Shimla is hoping that snowfall would lead to tourists making a beeline to the Queen of Hills during the weekend. According to the local weather station, light to moderate snowfall in mid and higher hills is predicted, with rains in lower hills from 14th to 18th January. Authorities in Jammu and Kashmir have issued an avalanche warning for 10 districts which have witnessed moderate to heavy snowfall over the past 48 hours. A high danger avalanche warning has been issued for Bandipora and Kupwara districts of North Kashmir and a medium danger warning for Baramulla and Ganderbal districts. Snowfall started in the plains of the valley on Friday morning. The famous ski resort of Gulmarg, tourist resorts of Pahalgam and Sonmarg and many other places experienced fresh snowfall. The inclement weather has resulted in the closure of Srinagar-Jammu National Highway. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar met journalists covering the Parliament beat at his residence today. During this, he personally interacted with the journalists and wished them a Happy New Year. Journalists from leading media organizations from print and electronic media participated in the program. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla attended the 12th Auto Summit of Federation of Automobile Dealers Associations at Hotel Taj Palace in Delhi today. On this occasion, the Lok Sabha Speaker said that through social service and dedication, we have put a strong collective picture of the country in front of the world. He said that along with selling motor vehicles, the dealers are also fulfilling their social responsibility. He released a book on the role and importance of dealers in today's era.
सामाजिक सेवा समर्पण हमारे जीवन में है। हमने कोविड के समय दुनिया को बता दिया कि हमारी सामूहिकता की शक्ति से इतनी विशाल देश के अंदर हमने जो कुछ भी एक दूसरे के सहयोग से बन सका किया और हमने एक मजबूत सामूहिक भारत की तस्वीर दुनिया के सामने रखी। और इसी तरीके के प्रयास जो आपने शुरुआत किए, उससे नए लोगों को प्रेरणा मिलेगी, अलग अलग एसोसिएशन को प्रेरणा मिलेगी, इंडस्ट्रीज को प्रेरणा मिलेगी, सर्विस सेक्टर के लोगों को प्रेरणा मिलेगी।
The Festival of Role is being celebrated across the country with traditional fervor. The President, the Vice President and the Prime Minister extended greetings on Lohri, Makar Sankranti, Bihu and Pongal. They wish the people good health, happiness and prosperity. Lohri is celebrated in North India, especially in Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Delhi, Jammu and Chandigarh. Traditionally, Lohri is a special festival associated with the sowing and harvesting of crops and is celebrated a day before Makar Sankranti. A look at some more news from across the nation. Registered voters living in villages along the disputed border with Assam can participate in the upcoming assembly elections in Meghalaya, Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar said today. Mr. Kumar led an Election Commission of India team in a two-day review of poll preparedness in Meghalaya. The visit concluded today. No palpable progress has been made by the Delhi police in the investigation into cases of hate speeches made at religious assemblies in the national capital in 2021, the Supreme Court noted today, while seeking a report from police probing the matters. Countries that use cross-border terror for narrow political purposes must be held accountable. India's permanent representative to the UN, Ambassador Ruchira Kamboj, has said in the UN Security Council in a veiled reference to Pakistan. Kamboj underlined the need for nations to stand together against the common threat of terrorism and not engage in double standards for political expediency. At a time when the world is faced with continued economic slowdown and social distress, the international community counts a lot on India's leadership of G20. The managing director of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, said India, which is the president of G20 countries, remains among the countries that perform better than global average and by a good percentage, said the IMF managing director. Over 1,000 Indian peacekeepers, including 5 female army personnel, have been honored with UN medals for their vital work in the UN mission in South Sudan. This year's medal award ceremony was unique for the Indian peacekeepers in Upper Nile. For the first time, the parade of the large contingent consisting of infantry, engineers and medical staff was led by a woman, Major Jasmine Chatta. Let's now get into all the updates from the Russia-Ukraine war front. Russia's defense ministry said today that its forces have captured the salt mining town of Soledar. The ministry said that Soledar, the focus of a bloody battle between Russian and Ukrainian forces, was captured on Thursday night. There was no immediate confirmation from Ukrainian authorities to Russian claims to have seized the town in eastern Ukraine's Donetsk province, one of 4 Ukrainian regions that Moscow has annexed. Soledar's fall would mark a rare victory for the Kremlin after a series of battlefield setbacks in its invasion of Ukraine. Russian and Ukrainian commissioners held talks on humanitarian issues on the sidelines of an international ombudsman conference in Turkey's capital, Ankara, on Thursday. This is the third meeting between the two sides on the sidelines of the conference. Russia's Human Rights Commissioner, Tatiana Moskalkova, said that they have exchanged lists of civilians who want to go back to their countries. Dmytro Lubinets, Ukrainian parliament ombudsman for the human rights, praised the new initiative from the Turkish president about the humanitarian corridor. About 200 Ukrainian military personnel who were to be trained in Spain were greeted by Spanish Defense Minister Margarita Rollier at a Madrid airbase on Thursday. Most of the personnel were mobilized civilians with no previous military experience. They would participate in a basic combat training module in the nearby city of Toledo. Another 20 personnel would take part in a basic familiarization course for 2 weeks in Sevilla with the Hawk anti-aircraft system. Spain has donated 6 of these launchers to Ukraine. Moving on to the news from across the globe. High temperatures across the earth last year persisted, not quite spiking a record high, but were still in the top 5 or 6 warmest on the record. Several governmental agencies reported on Thursday. Let us take a look.
US scientists are warning of record-shattering hot years in the next couple of years because of relentless climate change from the burning of coal, oil and gas. Despite a La Nina, a cooling of the equatorial Pacific that slightly reduces global average temperatures, the US National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration calculates 2022's global average temperature to be the 6th hottest on record. NOAA doesn't include the polar regions because of data concerns, but soon will. If the Arctic, which is warming 3 to 4 times faster than the rest of the world, and Antarctic are factored in, NOAA said it would be 5th warmest. NASA, which has long factored the Arctic in its global calculations, said 2022 is essentially tied for 5th warmest with 2015. 4 other scientific agencies or groups around the world put the year as either 5th or 6th hottest, with another that uses satellite data saying it was the 7th warmest. Last year was slightly hotter than 2021, but overall the science teams say the big issue is that the last 8 years from 2015 on have been a step above the higher temperatures the globe had been going through. All 8 years are more than 1.8 degrees, 1 degree Celsius warmer than pre-industrial times, NOAA and NASA said. Last year was 2 degrees, 1.1 degrees Celsius warmer than the mid-19th century, NASA said. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
In our World Wrap segment, a storm system raised across southern U.S. on Thursday, killing at least 6 people in central Alabama. A tornado ripped roofs of homes and uprooted trees in Selma, while a person was killed in Georgia. South Korean police are seeking charges of involuntary manslaughter and negligence against 23 officials, including law enforcement officers, for a lack of safety measures, they said, who are responsible for a crowd surge that killed nearly 160 people. Despite anticipating a weekend crowd of more than 1 lakh, Seoul police had assigned 137 officers to the capital's nightlife district, Itaewon, on the day of the crush. Japanese prosecutors formally charged the suspect in the assassination of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe with murder on Friday. Tetsuya Yamagami was arrested immediately after allegedly shooting Abe with a homemade gun as the former leader was making a campaign speech in July. Gabonese President Ali Bongo Ondimba on Thursday met with Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang in Libreville, the Gabonese capital, on boosting bilateral ties. Qin noted that the China-Gabon relations, jointly forged by leaders of older generations, have withstood the test of time. Lisa Mary Presley, Elvis Presley's only daughter and a dedicated keeper of her father's legacy, died on Thursday after being hospitalized for a medical emergency. She was 54. A quick look at the latest from the world of sports. India beat Spain 2-0 in the first match of the FIH Men's Hockey World Cup. HS Pranoy went down fighting to world number 7 Japanese Kodai Naraoka in a grueling 3-set games in the quarterfinals of the Malaysian Open tournament. Marc-Andre ter Stegen saved twice from the spot to help Barcelona beat Real Betis 4-2 on penalties after a 2-2 draw on Thursday, setting up a Clásico Spanish Super Cup final. Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe among nominees for Best FIFA Player Award. Cristiano Ronaldo misses out. The ICC Women's Under-19 T20 World Cup begins in South Africa tomorrow. Shafali Verma-led India play their first match against host South Africa in Benoni on Saturday. That's a wrap on today's bulletin. Keep watching Sansad TV for the latest news and updates. Good night.